Hello everyone, thank you for listening and watching. My name is Nefertiti and you can find my information in the description box below. Welcome to another episode of Self-Love Sunday, and today we're talking about the karmics. Now this word karma means a lot of different things. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be talking about the karmic connections that people have in intimate relationships and what these relationships entail, what they kind of look like, and how you can move out of these situations if they are no longer serving you. This could refer to a twin flame connection, a soulmate connection. Let me just say this about the twin flame connection. Yes, you and that other person are one soul, absolutely. And we know that the connection has nothing to do with sexuality or sexual preference. But both people have to be willing to do the work involved in order to come into union. And because we have this connection that is infinite with our twin flame, that means we're going to go through many cycles within lifetimes of connecting with this person and either coming into union or connecting for the purpose of learning lessons. So what that means is you may or may not come into union with your twin flame. It could be that in this particular lifetime, you're only meant to connect with that person to learn lessons that will advance you both on the journey to union. But you could also come into union. That we have to leave in the hands of the universe. Like I said, it requires both parties doing the work. I will also say that fated events are just what they are, events. I, as a spiritual teacher, do not necessarily believe that fate should determine your reality, because otherwise, why do you have free will? If we're able to choose what we want in our life and who we want in our life, then that means fate really is dependent on our choices. So when people say that we're meant to be, we've got to dive a little bit deeper in that. Are we meant to be together, or are we meant to come together at this point in time to learn lessons? And that's where your intuition comes in. That's where the spiritual work on yourself comes in, because you'll know. And I'll say one more thing and then we'll get into the content. When you are looking at twin flame tarot readings or twin flame energy readings or things like that, remember that you create your own reality. You are the one that's in charge. So if you're listening to a reader, for example, and this is about general readings or personal readings, and they're telling you that you need to be patient, you need to wait for this person, you need to do this and that, and you're in a situation where you're being abused mentally, emotionally, maybe physically, or you're in a situation that intuitively doesn't feel right, but you're listening to that reader and they're like, you know, you've got to trust that this is right for you and this and this and that. Be very discerning with that kind of information, because we have to remember, as light workers, there is spiritual wickedness in high places. So when you go to new levels, there's going to be new devils. And you best believe that not every tarot reader is aligned with their higher self. So you take that for what you will. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we create our own reality. We are in charge. It's our responsibility to manage our energy. It's our responsibility to navigate the energies that present to us. So when it comes to these karmic connections, which I'm going to talk about two of them specifically, it's always up to us whether or not we want to be in that connection. It's always our choice. So, as I mentioned, karmic relationships come into our lives to teach us lessons. These relationships often come in to bring more balance to the divine masculine and to the divine feminine energies that are within you and within the connection itself. Because once you balance yourself, you automatically bring balance to the connection. Karmic relationships, and I'm talking about intimate relationships, usually start under very intense circumstances. There's usually an imbalance of power. There's some kind of crisis going on or struggle going on, or there's an acute problem within the relationship to begin with. This could be a third party situation, or perhaps somebody's experiencing some kind of financial setback and this person comes in and they're able to support them. Maybe somebody's, getting into a rebound relationship type of situation where they've gotten a divorce or they've broken up with somebody and they immediately jump into another relationship without allowing themselves some time to heal. So it's these kind of circumstances typically that karmic relationships come together. So let's talk about the two karmic relationships that I'm going to discuss. And the first one is unrequited love. Okay, this is love that's one-sided. One-sided contact, one-sided emotional expression. One person is always initiating. And this can create a lot of imbalance because usually the person that's not initiating is trying to steal energy from the other person, whether they know it or not. The person that is in the unrequited love relationship that is the taker is usually somebody that is emotionally unavailable, and they typically will maybe not demonstrate this in the beginning. A lot of love bombing goes on just to kind of get you where they need you to be so that they can feed off of you, right? Cognitive dissonance is what that's called. Basically, it's when somebody tells you something, but their actions say something else. And you'll see this in karmic relationships all the time, right? That's a clear indication that there's some type of energy imbalance because one or both partners don't have integrity. And that's just because nobody's willing to do the healing work or get the lessons. One person may just outright reject the love because of the deep self-loathing that they have for themselves. You can't receive love in a healthy way if you don't love yourself in a healthy way. Unrequited love situations typically occur between people who have abandonment wounds from childhood. And so this shows up in the relationships, right? This could be pouty silences, jealousy, or just outright sabotaging the connection where you're like, why does this person keep doing this knowing that this is going to piss me off? Or, why do they spend all the money or do all these crazy things knowing that this is going to create tension? And it's sabotage because of a lack of self-love, a lack of self-worth. They don't feel like they deserve that relationship, yet they need you because they need your energy. These types of relationships can be the most challenging because there usually is some deep love. There's some deep love there, but for whatever reason, because of the wounding, because of the abandonment issues, one or the other partners doesn't express this emotion. So that creates confusion, especially if you're an empath, because you're like, okay, I know you feel a certain way about me, but you're not expressing it to me. It's like I've got to, it's like what Rihanna says in that song, what do I have to do to get into your motherfucking heart? Right? This person just doesn't see you. And then you find yourself trying to prove yourself to them all the time. So how can you heal from this type of connection? The first thing you need to do is allow yourself some time, especially if you're coming out of an unrequited love situation. You need time to heal because this is a loss. So you need to grieve. When you've been giving your energy into something for so long and not getting anything back or very little back, you need time to recover. You need time to call your energy back, to cultivate more power within yourself before you move on to another connection. And you may need to keep yourself busy, right? Engaging in hobbies and remembering the things that you love to do and connecting with other people, with friends, with family, the people that really care about you in your life so that you can remember that yes, I do deserve love. Yes, I do deserve affection and care. I'm worthy of that. And because this is a karmic situation, it's very important for you to recognize the patterns, because this is where the lesson is. The things that you keep repeating over and over again within that connection. And I'm talking about you, us, taking responsibility for our parts in the connection, because it does take two. We can't do anything about that other person's healing. We can't do any magic. We can't do any spell work. We can't do any affirmations. We can send people positive energy and send them love and light, but we cannot interfere with another person's free will. And that's why I said what I said in the beginning about watching the twin flame readings and things like that, to approach those types of readings like you're getting a news report, right? A good reader, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, should be a combination of a news reporter and like an outspoken girlfriend. Somebody that can just tell it like it is, but not necessarily let their own personal ideals come into the reading, because there's some distortion. Let's move on to the narcissist empath connection. And I've done some videos about this before. So let's talk about what a narcissist is, because there's narcissistic personality disorder, and then there's a person who is displaying narcissistic tendencies. So the disorder is a mental condition with a person who has excessive interest or admiration of themselves, so much so that it affects areas of their life, their relationships, their work, their school, or their financial affairs. And I'm talking about to the point where these people are not really able to function in everyday life without getting fed, getting their ego fed. You know, these are people that are connected 100% to the matrix. And as I'm making this video, we're right in the middle of a pandemic. So these types of people are really suffering right now because they've gotten so much power from outside sources and they've got accustomed to that. Now they're being asked to go within, and this is brand new territory. And because there is a lot of self-loathing, this could be very hard for people to do because they don't want to face that. Now, somebody who is just displaying narcissistic tendencies is somebody who may just have some self-esteem issues, or, you know, we all get that way sometimes. We're all narcissists sometimes. I think it's just depending on where our energy is, right? And I think it's okay to feel good about yourself, to, you know, honor yourself, but sometimes it does get out of balance. And I think, you know, that just happens. I don't think that's anything to be like too concerned about, except when it becomes a crutch for someone where they have to be in this energy of having a false sense of control. Narcissists are energy vampires, and they get their energy through creating conflict, but sometimes they also will use the silent treatment, jealousy, or outright slander, right? Talking to other people about you. The flip side of that is the flying monkeys, where they talk to people about you over time. They charm people that are in your life, the people that you're connected to. So when the shit hits the fan, they're not the bad guy. You are, for trying to leave that connection. This happens a lot. Another way that they get energy, a narcissist, from the empath, because I'm talking about the narcissist empath connection, is through the extreme mood swings, taking just very destructive actions when they don't get what they want. Now, the empath is a person who has the ability to apprehend and connect to the mental and emotional states of another individual. Empaths are usually highly evolved, right, in their psychic abilities, whether they know it or not. Remember that psychic powers do have to be managed. They have to be channeled. Otherwise, they can create psychosis and other debilitating mental disorders in people's lives. Empaths are also moody, and we're sensitive to negativity. We're very creative, gentle, and caring, usually drawn to healing professions. And just like the narcissist, they're also we are able to be cold and not take responsibility for our actions. So there's traits that both the narcissist and empath share. Like I said, both can have extreme issues, abandonment issues, childhood wounds. Both can have addictions of some sort, whether these are, physical addictions, emotional addictions, mental addictions, those constant negative loops that we go through in our head if we're not mindful of our thinking. Both can attract wounded people. And then within the connection, a lot of times there's just confusion as to why they can't let go of each other, right? If there's a situation where there's a lot of back and forth, in and out, both parties usually are like, why can't I let this person go? Why can't I move on? And it's because there's some healing required, right? You haven't gotten the lesson and you need to get that lesson and that healing so that you can evolve and move on. And this kind of connection, the empath and the narcissist can both become very exhausted, right? The empath, of course, is exhausted because you're getting your energy siphoned, but the narcissist can be tired because they constantly have to create situations in order to get this energy. And then once that energy is depleted, they're out. And so they feel disempowered. This is very exhausting because it's kind of unnatural. And in extreme cases, the narcissist or the empath can have misalignments such as bipolarism and borderline personality disorder. Again, these are extreme situations. So I'm going to offer you 2 ways to heal from these types of connections, the narcissist empath connection and the unrequited love situations. The first one, of course, is shadow work. And as I've mentioned in other videos, shadow work is nothing to be afraid of. It's just about you facing those aspects of yourself that you disown, because these are your triggers, these are your wounds, and this is how people are able to connect to you and steal your energy. Think of shadow work as self-discovery, one of the pathways to learn about yourself. Shadow work is a very powerful teacher. And I'm going to also mention here too to be careful of energy workers that say they do spirit release therapy or any type of energetic work. I'm just really cautious of people getting into my energy and moving things around. Now, you take what resonates with you. Some people are okay with that. And I guess it just depends on where you're at energetically. But I'm very cautious of those types of interactions just because not everybody has good intentions. And I'm not saying to be fearful, but just to recognize your own power to heal. Be willing to do the work on yourself. And if you get so far and you need some guidance and assistance, allow spirit to bring these people into your life. Remember that all relationships are mirrors. So if you're in a connection and there's things going on that you don't like, this is just a reflection back to you of the aspects of yourself that need healing. So do the shadow work. There's lots of ways to do that. Shadow work prompts for like journaling. You can also do what I call daily shadow work. And that is just recognizing when you've had dips in your energy. So, I talk about the holy pause, right? Where you just stop for a second, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and you can do this anywhere, in a grocery store, in the car, and just check in with yourself and see where your energy is. And if you need some TLC for your soul, if you need to rest, if you need to eat, you need to use the bathroom, like whatever, you'll be able to know. And this kind of exercise of just taking little sections of your day to close your eyes and meditate, be mindful. This is a way to strengthen your connection to your intuition, right? Little by little. Of course, there's meditation too, but this is just something that could help you throughout your day. The second healing method is crystal healing with kyanite. Kyanite is one of those crystals that is very highly protective, and it's great for aligning your chakras and meridians. And this will happen whether or not you intend that for the crystal, which is great. Kyanite is also great for opening up energy pathways in the body so that new, fresh energy can flow in, which clears the blocks. So kyanite can be used for cutting karmic ties, aligning your energy, especially after going through situations that were emotionally taxing, emotionally abusive. They're highly protective, especially during psychic work. And kyanite's great for resolving conflict within you and within your relationships. I've been working with kyanite for a long time, and specifically over the past couple of weeks, I've been working with 4 different colors of kyanite: black, red, blue, and green. And you can use kyanite, like I said, during your meditation work. You can also wear kyanite jewelry, but it's great for just clearing and aligning your energy, getting you back into balance. And kyanite's readily available. You don't necessarily have to cleanse it and charge it as much as you do the other crystals that you have. I feel it doesn't hurt, so go ahead and do that. And it's a very powerful crystal for getting into those deeper parts of yourself and really getting the answers that you need that will help you to move forward on your healing path. That'll help you to understand why you had to experience certain things, why you had to have certain relationships. Remember that nothing is ever in vain. And kyanite kind of helps you to bring in that higher perspective. It's also great for boosting your psychic and intuitive abilities so that you don't get into those types of situations again, hopefully. So I would encourage you to get some kyanite, whatever color resonates with you, or maybe get all of them. Blue kyanite is typically the one that you'll read about online. That's the one that is kind of the most common, but the other crystals, the other colors definitely have energies that are specific to certain aspects of your life. So the green, of course, is going to relate to the heart chakra, heart healing, really getting into those inner child wounds. And then red is, or orange, I've seen it called both colors, but red is going to help you with sexual healing or any type of issues that you have with your purpose, right? What you're supposed to produce in this world. It's going to help to clear any blocks to that. And then, of course, blue is going to help you with psychic development, help you with your communication, and help you with your thought processes, keeping you out of mental conflict. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the black kyanite is great for cutting those karmic ties, for protection, for clearing out old negative patterns, and for bringing in more earth energy, just like the green kyanite too, bringing in more elemental energy, more energy for grounding and stability within yourself. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you do like my work, you can donate using the PayPal or Venmo links below if you feel led to do that. But I will speak to you again really, really soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.